Hi, everyone. This is Allison Reinking, Early Childhood Specialist from Central Jersey Family Health Consortium. I've been receiving a lot of information about what parents need to do to take care of themselves during this time of COVID. And I wanted to bring a special guest on today, Roseanne Cervelli. Roseanne's been doing a lot of work recently in the field of self-compassion and compassion for others. And I was hoping, Roseanne, you could take us on a little journey for the next few minutes about how parents can give compassion to themselves during these challenging times.
Thank you, Allison. I would be most happy to. While staying safe at home and washing our hands, social distancing are so important to our physical well-being, we also have to remember that we have thoughts and emotions that we also need to take care of. In differing degrees right now, we are all afraid of this strange new virus that has come as a most unwelcome guest to our human body. And we all know that fear can be like a runaway train with no brakes. Fear leads to stress, which leads to anger, depression, anxiety, and so on. And all of these can lead to a weakened immune system. Many of our parents are still working at their workplaces and have the added worries of catching the virus and even bringing that virus home to their loved ones. If one is feeling fearful, overwhelmed, distraught, powerless, and also feeling such tremendous care and responsibility to their family at home and their family at the workplace, it can truly feel that there is no relief, no light at the end of the tunnel. So this is where self-compassion comes in.
You know, especially at a time like this, it's so natural to feel compassion towards others. I know some people may feel that it's selfish to show compassion to oneself when so many others are suffering and need compassion.
Yes, that's a belief that has often been spoken of. But according to Kristin Neff, the tremendous author and researcher who has done so much work in the field of self-compassion, she talks about how self-compassion provides, and I'll quote, an island of calm, a refuge from the stormy seas of endless positive and negative self-judgment, unquote. With self-compassion, you just live in the moment with no inner critic having its say, no judgments against self. As parents who must now face not only our own fears and responsibilities, but also support our children and partners as they face theirs, the best thing we can do is to model how to take care of ourselves emotionally and mentally as well as physically. Kristin Neff defines self-compassion with three main components. The first, it requires self-kindness, that we be gentle and understanding with ourselves rather than being harshly critical and judgmental. The second, it requires recognition of our common humanity, feeling connected with others in the experience of life rather than feeling isolated and alienated by our suffering. And third, self-compassion requires mindfulness, that we hold our experience in balanced awareness rather than ignoring our pain or exaggerating it. Studies show that people who practice self-compassion actually feel stronger, more resilient, and more connected to others with more hope and positivity. The studies show that self-compassion diminishes anxiety, depression, and worry. The studies also show that with self-compassion awareness, we are actually more willing and in a better position to help others. So by helping ourselves, we also help others. It's kind of like the old metaphor that if the oxygen mask in an airplane falls in front of you, you first put your own on and then you can help your child. Susan Pollitt calls it making a U-turn. Extend some kindness and compassion to yourself. Begin to nurture yourself so your kids can thrive.
Listen, I love the sound of all of this. I'm just wondering practically, how do we do compassion? Can you give us some practical steps so people can really bring this into their everyday lives?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Self-compassion requires no big fanfare or setup. It's a very quiet thing that takes place in your own heart and your own mind. You can actually set aside some time if you can find any for yourself, but you can also practice it while you're busy, while you're helping your children with their homework or while you're cooking the family dinner. You just become mindful to do it in the moment when it is needed. Just like you mindfully turn on a light when you enter a dark room, well, you turn to self-compassion when you're feeling sad or overwhelmed, angry or frustrated. It becomes a conscious decision on our part to go within, take a little pause, hear that still small voice inside of us that can give us comfort that we need in that moment. We have to remember that each of us has a deep wellspring of compassion inside of us. And for most people, giving kindness to others comes easy, but giving kindness to ourselves is a new phenomenon. The first thing that we can do is to be kind to ourselves and talk to ourselves, comfort ourselves, just the way we would for our loved ones and friends. For example, if one of your friends called you up on the phone and was beside themselves, crying and sobbing because they were totally overwhelmed, you would probably not say to them, you know, you're being such a complainer, or you're right, you are a terrible mother for yelling at your child and getting so upset at your child. You wouldn't say that. You would probably say something like, you have every right to cry, and I'm here for you. I'm listening. You've been working so hard and you're under so much stress. I want you to know I care about you and your life, and I want you to take good care of yourself. So if we would say that to a friend, why can't we also say that to ourselves? When we're upset or distressed or sad, we can just give ourselves a little time out so that we can tune into what we're feeling within us. Take a few moments alone, perhaps to cry, perhaps to just breathe, put our hands on our heart and kindly and gently say to ourselves, this truly is a hard moment. I am hurting right now. I'm doing the best I can to be a good mother, a dedicated worker, a responsible person. But I'm overwhelmed right now. My life is precious and my family's life is precious. And I'm going to take care of me and love me just as I take care of and love others. So you see, a little tenderness can go a long way, especially if everyone else around us is too worried or distressed or even bored to realize that you are hurting too. If for whatever reasons we can't receive comfort from others, that doesn't mean that comfort does not exist. Comfort is there right in our own hearts, and we can give it to ourselves.
Roseanne, this is really powerful because just because I admit something is hurting or very hard doesn't mean I'm weak or selfish or a complainer. I think that's an important message. It's just like saying and admitting we're hurting and we have love inside us to care for our children, but to care for ourselves too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing to remember and find some comfort in is to truly know that we're not alone at this challenging time. All the world is with us, experiencing the same thing. This is the part of self-compassion called the common humanity. We can say to ourselves, again, in a very loving and kind way, just like me, everyone wants to be healthy. Just like me, everyone wants their loved ones to be safe. Just like me, everyone is worried. Thoughts like this may prevent us from feeling alone and isolated as we think about others who are also suffering and feeling just like us. Another exercise that we can do to not feel all alone or forgotten is to visualize someone whom you love and who believes in you. Perhaps your own mom or dad or a grandparent or aunt or a dear friend or your partner. Just visualize them giving you support and help. Visualize them whispering in your ear the words that you long to hear, the words that you know that they would say to you in your moments of need. And just breathe in their words as you also feel the love they have for you. Breathe that into your own heart so you can feel loved in that moment when you may be feeling forgotten. So you can see how self-compassion is nurturing our hearts and minds with thoughts and feelings that will lead us out of depression and overwhelm and into a renewed sense of inner strength and purpose. And finally, let me share one more self-compassion practice that you can give to yourself. And that is affirmations or wishes for the qualities that you may need or desire in that very moment. Take a little pause as you breathe and with loving kindness say to yourself, when you're feeling unsafe, may I be safe. When you're feeling worried that you have a sore throat or a cough, you say to yourself, may I be healthy. When you're feeling just stressed, you say, may I be peaceful. When you're feeling frustrated with your children or you're feeling overwhelmed, may I be patient. May I know I am loved, and so on, whatever it is that you need. When you do this, your inner critic disappears and you speak to yourself in a voice that is filled with loving compassion for who you are and for all you do. So to sum up, take care of your physical body. Yes, wash your hands, rest, take walks in the sunshine, wear your masks, eat well, try to get a good night's sleep, remember to smile. Engage in stress management activities such as breathing, meditations, exercise, music, journaling, dancing, watching your favorite TV show. And take care of your social life. Call family and friends, FaceTime with people, send cards and letters, have family Zoom meetings, and so on. But also take care of your mind and heart by loving and comforting yourself and remembering how wonderful a parent, partner, worker, friend, how wonderful and precious a human being you truly are.
Thank you so much, Roseanne, for sharing all of this powerful information with our listeners. I hope that people could, just choose one or two things that they really connect with and start practicing them. Myself, I like the may I be peaceful, may I be patient, really thinking about what it is that I want to create and putting it out there. For me, that provides a lot of comfort. But for everyone else, please send us an email. Let us know what resonated with you the most. And Roseanne, if our listeners want to get in touch with you, how can they find you?
I would be so happy to hear from our listeners. You can reach me at my work email, which is rcervelli, and that's CERVELLI at cjfhc.org.
Roseanne, thanks again for your time, for your wisdom, all of the strategies you shared, and everyone, I'm wishing you a very safe and healthy day.
Thank you so much, Allison. Have a good day.
Are you a parent or caregiver living in Mercer, Hunterdon, Middlesex, or Somerset County, looking for simple, fun ways to help build your child's confidence, support their communication skills, encourage them to learn, explore, move, and groove? We have an opportunity for you to complete a free 15-minute online screening tool called the Ages and Stages Questionnaire. This effective tool will uncover your child's strengths and areas in which they may need support. Once you submit your responses, an early child specialist will call you to go over the results and offer you activities and suggestions specifically geared towards the needs of your child. To find the questionnaire for your county, click on the card below. You will be directed to Central Jersey Family Health Consortium's website, where you can access the Ages and Stages questionnaire in English or Spanish.